triggers are not proof that you're failing. They're actually doorways into healing and the deeper parts of you that are ready to be reclaimed. Many people on the awakening path think that they aren't supposed to get triggered anymore. And that's just not true. We're all human. It doesn't mean you're weak or there's something wrong with you or you're broken. It's just an invitation into discovering those deeper parts of ourselves, the shadow, right? The dark. The dark doesn't mean that it's wrong or there's something scary, right? The dark means those are the parts of ourselves that have been pushed away because it hasn't been safe to feel. And so we get to reclaim those parts, right? Everyone gets triggered. It doesn't matter who you are, you're human. And so recognizing that triggers are, it's the nervous system activating, because what is being presented to you in the present is activating something from the past. The body remembers everything from your whole life. Doesn't matter if you're 5 or 50 or 105. It's like your body has the capacity to hold information, and it will hold all that information until it becomes integrated and felt. All those emotions become a source of energy in your body. And so that energy is energy. Emotion is emotion, energy in motion, right? And that energy gets stored until it gets felt. And so then we get to integrate the shadow, because we have to bring the light into the dark. We have to integrate, make them balance, make them whole. You are already whole, and we're just coming online. We're just bringing the two back in balance, right? And so it doesn't mean there's character flaws, but it's an invitation to connect deeper with those parts of yourselves, right? Those protective measures have been developed at a time when you needed them, when you needed protection. And so your inner wisdom, right, has created you to keep yourself safe when maybe it didn't feel safe in the moment, right? And so you develop these strategies that worked at the time, and maybe they're not working anymore. You did the best you could, and just recognizing the intelligence behind that, and having gratitude and recognizing how amazing and intelligent you really are. The shadow is really the disowned parts of you, right? We're making the unconscious conscious again, right? Bringing all that material up that hasn't been processed, so that it does include those unmet needs. When were you not felt seen or heard, right? Maybe you got your physical needs met, but not your emotional needs, right? Maybe your caregivers didn't have the tools or the resources that they needed to give you what you needed, right? If they don't have it, how can they give it to you, right? So recognizing it's not their fault either. And now it's certainly not your fault, but it is our responsibility to learn about this and to recognize that. And so, the shadow also includes those suppressed emotions. What didn't get felt back then? When was it not safe to feel? And so all of that gets trapped in the body, right? The energy, the emotion. And so, and those attachment woundings, right? When was the caregiver inconsistent with you, right? When sometimes they would be available for love, and sometimes they would be detached, right? And so you learn that like love was inconsistent, right? Or maybe I have to, take care of them in order to get my needs met, right? However that was for you. And so we learn these attachment woundings, the anxious avoidance. And so we'll get more into that in another video, but that is, part of that journey. And so we've developed these protective adaptations based on all of the ways in which, our caregivers showed up for us. And so recognizing, we then bring that into our present, into our life, right? So our body becomes activated after we've gone through the event. Our mind interprets it as it would the past, right? Oh, it wasn't safe. I wasn't seen here. I wasn't heard in this conversation. And so then, the body becomes activated and we go into these protective measures. And then we go into our reaction, whether or not that's in, fight mode. We get mad and angry about something that maybe, but that doesn't match the experience, right? Or maybe we shut down because that's what we did. That's the safety, right? The freeze. We shut down when this experience is happening. And so then we can't find our words, right? We can't find, the expression that we truly want to say, but we go into this old child wounding, right? And, or maybe we flee, we take off, and we, don't, express our needs at all. Or maybe we go into, that fawn, that people pleasing, right? And wanting to, take care of them. And so like there's this whole reaction chain that we learn, the nervous system, the intelligence of that. And so just, recognizing that this is a biological experience, right? It goes into this experience, this reaction super quickly. And so the body is so intelligent, and it's that chemical reaction that is happening. And so sometimes it's before we even realize what's happening, it goes into that place, right? And so all those triggers, that can come up, really, they often reveal to us the unmet needs, right? The boundary violations, the shame wounds, when that shame was really big, like where, when was that? The rejection sensitivity, right? Feeling the abandonment wounds, the powerlessness memories, right? When did you feel powerless as a child, right? The unexpressed truth. When were you not seen or heard? I know when I was growing up, the phrase "children should be seen and not heard," right? Like, yeah, which created this, to not feel seen or heard, right? And so there was like that big, the body remembers that. The disowned anger. When was it not safe to feel anger, right? Most people have suppressed their anger, right? Or their reaction is anger. And so there's, but it's not being seen in the way that, it's the powerfulness, right? Anger is a powerful emotion. And so sometimes the reaction of anger is to find your power again in a place where you felt powerlessness, right? And so in that longing for safety and belonging. So all of these unmet needs get revealed through those triggers, and we get to find that awareness around that, right? And so our goal is to, recognize the pattern within that and create awareness with that. And so we want to become sovereign around those responses, so they're not controlling us, right? They're not ruling us anymore. We can recognize them with awareness, right? And so, really, what we want to do is start to develop a relationship with that part of ourselves, the part that went, didn't get met, the needs didn't get met. And so we want to go through and, start to understand what is there. And so, because they happen so quickly, the invitation is to start recognizing with awareness and setting the intention to pause next time. Pause in the moment before you react. And if you react, that's okay. That's information. Sometimes it happens so quickly that it's just about slowing that part down, slowing it down enough to understand it. And so sometimes that does take time. And so, if you get triggered, it's, pausing and just feeling what is there and just witnessing it with love and compassion, right? And recognizing, what is it there to tell you? What is there? And so you want to just slow it down, find your breath, slow it down, feel your body, feel your feet on the floor, allow yourself to maybe, tap in to your body, connect, because at that point, you've gone out of your body, right? You've disconnected when you go into that response. And so you want to get back into your body and feel it again. Feel your feet on the floor, connecting with your breath, asking, what part of me is being activated right now? How old do I feel? What is the emotion that is there? What is the need that I have right now that didn't get met? And allow yourself just to witness yourself in compassion, in love, right? Loving that part in compassion, bringing that part and seeing that part, right? When we didn't get seen or heard, right? That part of you wants to be acknowledged. And so it's really about connecting with that part and bringing it into balance, integrating, witnessing, seeing, loving all parts of ourselves, loving it with awareness, recognizing that triggers don't mean regression, right? It means that you're coming online. You're allowing yourself to own all parts of yourself. And so allowing yourself to heal what is being revealed to you. And how beautiful is that, to recognize that information is coming forward for you to move on your path, to develop your relationships in a deeper and stronger way. I invite you to walk with me on this sovereignty path. We're all remembering ourselves, no matter where you are at on the path. It's a journey. It's a journey of revealing. The onion is unfolding. The layers are revealing in all ways, at all times. No matter how much work you've done, there's always parts of ourselves that are here, that are showing up, because we're human. It's about creating that awareness and not allowing that shadow part of ourselves to continue ruling. So walk with me. My name is Stacey Musial. You can find me at awakeningyoursovereignsoul.com. Much love.